I'm standing at the back of a church full of people I know, wearing a hospital bracelet on my wrist and holding a photograph that explains everything. Every lost month, every silence, every unanswered prayer. David is at the altar. My sister is in the third pew, and the bride has not stopped staring at me. Nobody else has noticed me yet. I have maybe 30 seconds before that changes. My legs are shaking. Not from the illness. I've been awake for 2 weeks. The doctor said I was a miracle. But from the sheer, vertigo-inducing weight of what I'm about to do. Because I have a choice here. I can turn around. I can walk out into the afternoon sun, find a bench, and let this wedding happen. I can protect myself from the spectacle, from the humiliation, from whatever David might say when he sees me. I can be graceful about it. I look down at the photograph. David's arm around my sister at what looks like our kitchen table. Christmas lights in the background. I recognize the mug in her hand. It was mine. It was mine, and she is sitting in my chair, and he is smiling. No, I am not walking out of this church. I start moving down the aisle. The moment I step into the candlelight, the ripple starts. A woman in a blue hat turns. Then the man beside her. Then a whole row, like a slow wave rolling toward the altar. And suddenly, someone says my name. Not whispers it. And the entire room seems to inhale at once. David turns last. I will never forget his face in that moment. The color leaves it completely. His mouth opens and nothing comes out. He grabs the edge of the altar to steady himself, and I watch his knees actually buckle, just slightly, like the floor beneath him has shifted an inch. Elena. He says my name like it's a question he's afraid to have answered. I stop about 10 feet away, close enough that he can see the hospital bracelet, close enough that he can see I'm real. I'm awake, I say. I've been awake for 2 weeks. I flew here this morning. The church is so quiet, I can hear the candles burning. My sister stands up from the third pew. She looks the way I imagine someone looks when the wall they've built over years cracks down the middle in a single second. Her face does something complicated. Guilt, panic, calculation, all of it cycling through in less than a moment. And then she says, "Elena, you're not well. You need to..." "Sit down, Kara." My voice comes out steadier than I feel. She sits down. I turn back to David and I hold up the photograph. He sees it. I watch him see it. And I watch something else cross his face then. Not shock, not confusion, recognition. He already knows what it is. "How long?" I ask. He closes his eyes. "Elena, how long, David?" He opens his eyes. 3 years, he says. "It started about 3 years ago. It was already over when you..." "When I what?" "When I fell asleep? When your plan just conveniently solved itself?" "It wasn't a plan," he says, and his voice breaks on the last word. "I didn't know what she told people. I didn't know she told you to move on. I thought... She showed me messages, Elena. She showed me messages she said were from you." I look at my sister. She has not moved. Her hands are folded in her lap like she is trying to appear calm, but her knuckles are white. "She faked messages from me," I say. It isn't a question. I already know it's true. The bride, her name is Christine, and I realize now she is a stranger. She is just a woman who was handed a story and believed it. Christine has stepped back from the altar. She's holding her bouquet against her chest like a shield. She says very quietly, "I didn't know she was your sister. He told me his fiancé had ended it. I didn't know." I believe her. I don't know why, but I do. I look at David for a long time, at the man I spent 4 years building a life with, at the face I memorized, at the person I woke up from a coma hoping to find. And I feel something settle. Not forgiveness, I'm nowhere near that. But clarity. The kind that only comes when you've finally seen something exactly as it is, not as you needed it to be. I didn't come here to stop the wedding, I say. I came here because I needed you to know the truth. I needed everyone to know the truth. I look at Kara, my sister, the person who used to hold my hand during thunderstorms when we were small. I look at her and I feel grief so large it almost takes my breath away. Not for David, but for her. For whoever she became while I was living a life she wanted. I don't understand you, I tell her, and I'm not sure I ever will. She doesn't say anything. There are tears on her face now, real ones, but I have no way of knowing anymore what's real when it comes to her. I turn back to David one last time. I hope you figure out what's true, I say. I really do. And then I walk back down the aisle. The doors of the church are heavy and old, and they swing open into the light like something in a film. And the afternoon hits me, warm and ordinary and indifferent to all of it. And I walk down the stone steps and I sit on a bench across the street under an oak tree. And I breathe. My phone buzzes. It's Christine. I don't know how she has my number. Later, I'll find out she got it from the church guest registry, where my sister had listed me as family. The text just says, "I'm so sorry. The wedding is over." The wedding is over. Over the next few weeks, the whole architecture of what Kara had built comes down, piece by piece. The faked messages, the forged voicemails, the calls she'd intercepted from the hospital. David hires a lawyer. My parents, who had been told their own softened version of events, go very, very quiet when the truth arrives. Kara calls me once. I let it ring. David and I meet for coffee 3 months later, a neutral place, paper cups, nothing that means anything. He tells me he's sorry, in a way that sounds like he's been rehearsing it for weeks. I tell him I know. I tell him I'm not interested in rehashing it. I tell him I hope he's well. I mean all of it. Because here's what waking up from a coma teaches you, if it teaches you anything. You are not guaranteed tomorrow. You are not guaranteed the person you loved, or the life you planned, or even the version of yourself you were before. What you are given, if you're lucky, is right now. This breath, this bench, this ordinary afternoon. My hospital bracelet is in a drawer at home. I kept it, not as a wound, as a reminder. I almost didn't wake up, but I did. And I walked into that church on my own 2 feet, and I told the truth, and I came out the other side. That, I've decided, is enough. That is more than enough.